Hello, and welcome back to the Allie the Awesome Show. Our first guest today will be King Menelaus. The last time you were here, Menelaus, you were talking about starting a war. How did that go for you?
Well, I'd say it went pretty well. I got my wife back and won the war, so, a few people died, but minor detail.
Well, that's always good. Thank you for joining us today, Menelaus, and enjoy your victory. Okay, so our next guest today will be the recently won-back wife of Menelaus. Please welcome Helen of Sparta. So Helen, tell us, what's your opinion on being won back by Menelaus?
Oh, it joys me so much to be free from Paris. He kidnapped me. I was put through so much trauma. He wasn't even a king, but now I am free to finally recognize my true love. King Menelaus of Sparta.
So you are happy to be going back to Menelaus?
Very.
Ah, yes. Well, thank you for joining us again, Helen. I'm sure you are all wondering what Paris thinks of this, so here he is, from beyond the grave, Paris of Troy. So, Paris, tell us, how was it that you defeated the great Achilles?
Well, as soon as I learned that his weak spot was his heel, I quickly found him and shot him with a poisoned arrow.
I see. Now, how was it that you ended up being dead?
Well, it was a battle wound. I died in battle.
And who was it that killed you?
I don't really know. It was a battle wound.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us today, Paris. It's always a pleasure. Our next guest is another visitor from the underworld. Please welcome the mighty Achilles. So, Achilles, we were all wondering, how do you feel about dying?
I feel so dead inside. I'd always hoped that my mother would be wrong and that I'd survive this. I just can't help but wonder how Paris learned of my Achilles heel.
Yes, death is rather unfortunate. Thank you for joining us again today, despite your current condition. Our next guest today just so happened to have been killed by Achilles. Please give a warm welcome to Hector. So, Hector, how does it feel to be dragged around your hometown by your mortal enemy?
I couldn't feel that. I had already been killed by that no-good, dirty son of a nymph, Achilles.
Yes. I see that you aren't taking your defeat by Achilles very well, then.
No.
Okay, then. Thank you for joining us today, Hector. All right, our next guest will be the brave, the brilliant Odysseus. Moving on then, would everyone please give a warm welcome to King Agamemnon? So, Agamemnon, is it true that you were killed by your own wife?
Yeah, well, once she found out that I sent our poor little daughter off to be sacrificed, she wasn't too happy with me.
So she decided to kill you?
Yeah, she never really was one for forgiveness.
I can see that. Thank you for joining us again, Agamemnon. Our next guest was killed alongside Agamemnon. Please welcome Cassandra. So, Cassandra, your immediate death after your arrival must have been shocking.
No, it wasn't shocking. I foresaw it all. I believe I told you last time I have the gift of prophecy.
Well, why didn't you warn anyone?
I did warn people, but no one ever listens to me. I believe I told you last time that Troy would fall. Did you listen to me? No. Did Troy fall? Yes.
Anyway, please give a warm welcome to our final guest today, Clytemnestra. So, I've heard from Agamemnon that you killed him upon his arrival home. Any words?
Why, of course I killed him. He offered our own daughter as a sacrifice to solve his problems. He needed to be shown that what he did was wrong. I thought a life for a life seemed fair.
Of course. Well, thank you for joining us today, and good luck, and happy killing. Hello, and welcome back to our final episode of The Alley the Awesome Show. I'm sure many of you have been wondering about Odysseus and his return to Ithaca. So please welcome the brave and brilliant Odysseus. So, Odysseus, tell us about your journey home from war.
Yes, it was a terrible, terrifying journey. I encountered many monsters as well as a few helpful people along the way. All I can say is I'm happy to be back with my wife and son.
Ah, yes. But when you got home, was everything the way you left it?
Oh no. When I arrived at home, there were many suitors after my wife in power. So I had to outsmart them all and get back my wife and throne.
What a heartwarming story. Thank you so much for being here today, Odysseus. It was wonderful having you here. That concludes our show. See you next time on The Alley the Awesome Show.